Hi, Gemini. Sorry, there are things in the picture. That's weird. There's like, I normally don't have that. Sorry. Hi, guys. Thanks for your patience. If you didn't know, I had some oral surgery done a few weeks ago, and that's why the April readings are, you're getting mid-April readings and not the beginning of April readings. And I'm sure that you guys know things have been really crazy. Plus, I really wanted to do your reading last week, and I have to be in a particular mood to do the Gemini readings. I think a lot of it has to do with I have to have, I just have to be, I have the right kind of energy surrounding me or feeling like I actually have energy to do your reading. So there you go. That's, and we're just going to shuffle. Venus is in its pre-shadow period right now in your sign. And Venus is going to be in Gemini into the end of the first week of August. So it's going to go into retrograde in May. And I feel like this Venus retrograde for you guys, with all of this isolation, with all of the restrictions that are happening, this is that time where you just focus on rebuilding yourself. Like, it's not a time, because everything's already broken down, right? Everything has already sort of, the tower is showing up here, but I feel like it's a different kind of tower. It's more of a realization. You get that moment where you don't want to have to deal with the bullshit anymore. I think that some of you are going to try and avoid the tough situations. I think that a lot of you are going to do the work that you need to do and kind of be in an avoidance because you don't really know what else to do. There's a job to take, you've got a job to do. And whether that job is to be a parent, whether that job is to be, like the state that, if you have to stay home, if you're not an essential worker and you have to stay home, a lot of times your job is to just stay home. A lot of times your job is to just be the student. A lot of times your job is just to be the parent. Whatever it is that you have to do, whatever it is, that if you're an essential worker, that's your job, right? And I think that's what you guys are planning on doing. I think there's this, there's this kind of like, the only way that I can balance this situation out is to look at the needed steps forward and just do it. Like, I'm not going to bitch. I'm not going to do this. I'm not going to whine. I'm not going to cry about it. I'm just going to do it, right? That's what this feeling feels like. That's what's going to ease your mind. So the Six of Swords, Justice, the Four of Cups, the Tower, the Eight of Pentacles, and the Seven of Cups. I think there's like an avoidance to the disaster. Because, in your mind's eye, in your eye, the disaster has happened, right? And because the disaster has happened, you guys are recognizing that you can't control, you really don't have any control over the situation. So what you're going to do is control yourself. I think that's an excellent idea. And to be quite honest, I am not surprised. I'm not surprised that Venus is creating this sense of, it just is what it is. You could be dealing with a Libra, but that Justice energy right there makes me feel like the way for you guys to be balanced is to have it is what it is kind of attitude and move forward from there. Here's the thing, and I was wondering if this was going to pop up. I feel like no matter what you do to have sort of this blasé, I'm going to work on myself, I'm going to do what I need to do kind of attitude. I feel like no matter what you do, you're still going to create stories and situations and like you'll still find the situations to create in your mind. And maybe you're not creating them. Maybe they will still show. Maybe that's not a creation of your own. Maybe it's somebody else that's created it. But I do feel with that Queen of Swords and the Nine of Swords, there's a sense of no matter how far away you try to get from the commotion and the chaos, it is still present. It is still around you. And when that happens, you sort of have to be so discerning, because that's what the Queen of Swords does. She discerns the situation. You have to be discerning as to, like, how do I allow myself, how do I allow myself to remain peaceful in an existence that just wants me to not be peaceful? Because, and I've noticed this, you guys, like, the more I try and stay away from the news or social media or like whatever it is that I'm trying to avoid, because there are days where I won't turn the TV on, or I won't won't get on social media or whatever, just so I don't have to hear it. I don't want to hear whatever it is that they want me to fear today. You know what I mean? To be afraid of today. So I won't turn on. And that needs to be, even if we're not in the middle of a pandemic, that needs to be something that we are always doing, you know, always being very discerning about the things that we're taking in, and but even no matter, if I do that, I can still feel the collective. You guys are so intuitive. You're so into, you as individuals are so intuitive, right? That it doesn't matter sometimes. If you're not actually reading it, you're still going to feel it. So then you have to be really discerning, or somebody who's very close and dear to you will bring that negativity in, or somebody over here will bring it, or somebody over here will bring it. And then you're just like, no matter what I do to try to avoid it, the disaster is still going to happen. So ultimately, that's where we have to go and say, so the disaster is going to happen. How am I personally going to react, if I'm going to react at all to this, right? So getting there on a very discerning level, because the Eight of Swords on the Justice card, now you could be feeling like this about a Libra, like a Libra, maybe even a Libra being far away from you, or a Libra, or like an air energy. There's this concern. It could also be a fire energy too. I feel like the Queen of Swords is you over here, really worried about either the distance between someone, or the fact that you're trying to create distance between someone and they sort of keep pulling you back in with their bullshit, right? And maybe even if they're not trying to have bullshit with you, that's what it feels like. Like you're trying to avoid, right? Four of Cups. And we have the Queen, or the King of Wands, and the Page of Wands. So this fire sign is very persistent and has things that they really, really want to say. So no matter how much you're trying to avoid things, you have somebody that's like, blah, 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 you know, can't, oof. Four of Pentacles and the Tower. Do you feel suffocated? It feels, and maybe not suffocated necessarily by the person, but suffocated by all of it. If you're feeling suffocated or you're feeling stuck, that Four of Pentacles, you know, holding on to that, this is where a good cry could really come in handy. Now, some of you are struggling financially, and you're recognizing that you need to find a new way of making money. You need to recognize that you need to find a new way of creating your own reality within this disaster. How do I do that? How do I do that? Right? And within creating your own reality within this disaster, you're like, I don't know what I'm going to do, but I'm certainly going to start putting some thoughts together to do it. Right? Seven of Cups, Eight of Pentacles. I can honestly say, Gemini, that if you're able to work during this time, if you're an essential worker, burying yourself within the work during the remainder of April and allowing yourself to connect in that kind of way is probably going to be your best bet. Yeah, I feel like, so we have the Knight of Cups on the Eight of Pentacles. I feel like there's this resistance to people and more of a, needing to put forth your best foot, like put forth your best effort in your own personal life without the chatter. To be quite honest, it feels like there's a lot of chatter that's going on here around you. And it's almost like people are talking at you and not talking with you. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're trying to avoid the situation and other people are trying to, they're just telling you what they think you need to know or they think you need to hear. And you're like, listen. And maybe, maybe that's you. The Knight of Cups on the Eight of Pentacles and the Knight of Pentacles on the Seven of Cups. I don't know how many ways to say the best way for you to get your message across is to allow yourself to put your head down and do the work that you came here to do. And when I say that, you know what I'm talking about when I say that, right? Do the work that you were born for. If you don't know what that is, there's too much chaos. There's too much noise happening around you, and you need to find out what that is. So you're retreating. And it's not that you don't want to show the love. It's not that you don't want to show the affection. It's that you're coping just like everybody else is. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. And as we go from Taurus season, where everything's going to calm down a little bit, we'll get to your season and you'll probably want to have some fun. And hopefully the restrictions won't be so hard during your season. I'm sort of thinking that Gemini and Cancer season might be a little bit whatever, but you guys feel that North Node energy coming. What's the North Node? The North Node is about finding it's your dharma in this lifetime. It's your purpose. It's what you're meant to do in this lifetime. And we're all going to be really wanting to communicate a little bit more and stand up for ourselves a little bit more as the North Node moves from Cancer, where we wanted to heal, the world needed to be healed. Look where we are. And we're moving into Gemini, and I feel like you guys are helping with that. You don't want to have any parts of anything right now because you know that you have a lot that you're already trying to process, and to try to process other people's energies while you're trying to process your energy. There are people that want to siphon off of you because they're stuck, right? So this earth sign in your life, whether they're earth, whether they're fire, who knows, right? Maybe they're both. But that Queen of Pentacles on with the Hanged Man and the Page of Cups, whoever this is that wants, because they're feeling a little upside down. Everybody's feeling a little upside down right now, but everybody thinks that they're the only one that's feeling a little upside down right now. So when we get into this stage of I need, I want, right? Page of Pentacles, Seven of Wands, the Emperor, and then we have the Six of Cups with the King of Pentacles. Again, it's not that that person isn't part of your soul tribe, isn't part of your soul group. It's just sometimes you can't solve everybody's problems. Sometimes you just have to solve your own. And I think that in order for you to regain your power, you're going to allow yourself to say, to shut it all down and say, no, I need these boundaries. I need you to give me a minute. I need you to give me a little bit of time. It's not that I don't care. It's that this is a lot for me too. And I'm hoping, there's always that fear, right? Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords, that when you place a boundary like that the other person isn't going to understand and they're going to just leave you, right? There's always that fear. So you're sort of taking a chance with this whole Venus in the pre-shadow retro period and then going retrograde for a good month and then going direct again. But I think that these boundaries are going to pay off for you in a long time, because this is the time that you aren't just creating boundaries, but you're creating boundaries because you're learning who you truly are and what you were truly meant to do. And that's the beauty. Even in the restrictions, that's the beauty. Okay. I love you guys, and I'm excited for your season. I'm excited for things to get warm here in the United States. And I hope that this finds you really well and finds you really safe. If you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, I'm not doing personal readings right now, but I am doing a lot of stuff with the members of the channel. You can either join through the link under, just below this video, or you can look in the description box and go over to Patreon and join that way. Daily content is over there. So if you feel like you need a little extra boost of help during this time, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, guide yourself on over there. I love you guys so much, and really please take care of yourselves, and I will see you for May readings. Bye.